One of the deepest reasons I've been drawn to writing has very little to do with achievement and recognition or even mastery. It has everything to do with becoming. There's a passage by Rilke that has stayed with me for years, and it names something essential about the writing life, about the artistic life that I've come to love. It's something, this quote, that I return to again and again when I feel impatient or frustrated or lost or even tempted to measure myself by what I'm producing or by the outcome. Rilke writes that being an artist means not reckoning and counting, but ripening like a tree, which does not force its sap, and stands confident in the storms of spring without fear that after them may come no summer. It does come, but it comes only to the patient who are there as though eternity lay before them, so unconcerned, still, and wide. When I first read those lines, I felt something resonate and open in me. It named, I think, this experience that I had always had about creating, whether it was poetry or music, that idea of being still and wide in that process of making. Because so much of society tells us that growth is measured by what we achieve, and that progress is a product, and it is sales, and it's likes, and it's followers, and that our worth, instead of being our own authenticity, our own authentic expression, our own truth, is something that must be packaged, brought to the market, and with speed, and through comparison. We are compared to, oh, how many sales did you have? How many followers do you have? None of this matters. This isn't why we create. And we have to remember that the true, at least for me, the true reason that I create is the love of the process, of the ripening of myself. I make art in order to know myself. And Rilke is offering this different image for us than this kind of market-driven idea of creating. It's not as the artist as a producer, but the artist or writer as a tree, as a living thing, not a doing, but a being, a rooted being, one that is rooted in its own flowering, its own branching, its own fruiting. And this sense then of writing, of allowing something to form in its own time, in me, of me, by me, that is the heart of why I write. That is the joy that I get when I write. This ripening of something of me, by me, in me. It's living. It's not just something that I'm generating, a product that I then put out into the market and sell. No, it's always with me. It's feeding me. It is growing me. Writing is not about arriving at some final version of oneself, final version of an idea even. It's about participating in an evolutionary process, an ongoing making and a remaking, a slow alchemy, a transformation in which we are awed and in wonder of this process of being alive, that we feel, at least I do, at the page, at the piano, behind the camera when I'm taking photographs, that I am alive, that I am at once the creator and the experiencer. I am with life. So when I sit down to write, I'm not shaping sentences. Sentences are a byproduct. And when I get behind the camera, I'm not making images. The image is the byproduct. I'm shaping myself. I'm with myself in that moment. I am creating with myself, of myself, in myself. I don't think we appreciate this enough. How could we? This is such such an eloquent, beautiful way of being, that art is not just something we make, it's something that makes us. And through writing, I am constantly naming myself. Through writing, I am listening to what wants to come into form. Through writing, I am practicing the courage to say, this is what I feel, this is what I see, this is what I hear. This is what I don't yet understand. This is what I'm grappling with, that I'm trying to understand. And that is a rich, rich place to enact one's life from, that act. Whether it takes the form of a painting or singing or dancing or a photograph or music or writing, is engagement in the act of one's own becoming, one's own ripening, one's own understanding. What am I? We are at once the agent and the agency of our evolution. And this is just, when we're going about our daily lives and going to the grocery store, going to our jobs, we don't have that opportunity unless we are conscious of it, because I'm sure, for sure, those things can also be part of our own evolution and we can feel our own agency in that. But art is so unique in that we can be at that moment, so deeply in that moment of with ourselves and seeing the thing appear from us. That this is such a wonderful practice of being alive, and that is deeply, deeply sustaining. The feeling that I am making, I feel still and wide in that experience, touching something inside me and expressing it. There's a sense that something true that I can't even name has been communed with. And even if the result of that communion is imperfect, an imperfect object, product, song, photograph, even if it's unfinished, even if no one else ever reads it or hears it or sees it, it doesn't matter. The experience is the nourishment. And this is what will sustain your life. This is what is so unique about creation, about art, making art, is that it itself is nourishment for you, for your soul. It's something only the process of making can give. Now, we often think of creativity, I know, as like a performance, a product, a show. I've created this photograph and now people are going to like it. People are going to get to experience it. But all of that is fine. We can make product. We're going to make form, give form to what we are making in some way. What we do with it, who sees it or hears it, is kind of irrelevant. But that this experience is first and foremost, at least for me, it's what I am devoted to the creative act, to the instant of creativity when I am wholly present with my own unfolding. This is what is nourishing. This is what is sustaining. It doesn't matter who likes what I come up with, who reads what I write, who buys anything that I make. It does not matter. If that happens, great. But what is sustaining, what is nourishing, what I'm chasing, if I can be said to be chasing anything, is that experience of that creative moment. That is what I am devoted to. That is what I guess I am encouraging everyone, first and foremost, if you want to write or want to be an artist or whatever it is you're chasing creatively, to devote yourself to those moments, to that moment each day, the dailiness of it. You get that in you, you have that love of what you're making, everything is going to come. That daily turning toward the mystery within you, that willingness to show up without guarantees, the trust that something is ripening even when nothing seems to be happening. I'm here for that, witnessing it and unfurling it and becoming it. And it's so marvelous. There will be, and there are in my process, And there will be for you, because this is just the nature of creativity, there will be long stretches in your creative process, in your writing, where it feels like nothing is coming together, like nothing is happening, where words are feeling flat, listless, where the ideas are, I don't know, they feel weak or distant, and you're full of doubt. And that's okay, because these periods are not failures. If we go back to the tree analogy, they're seasons. They are seasons. It's like the winter. Okay, you have to trust that spring is going to come and that summer is going to come and that you're going to make. So be patient. Trust, because something always comes. And you know this when you practice, when you are devoted. You know that something always comes because it's been reaffirmed and reconfirmed time and time again. So even though you go through these seasons where nothing seems to be happening, your daily practice will show you that, oh, yep, here it is, here it comes. Yep, just had a few days or weeks where nothing seemed to be really happening, but it kept showing up, and now, I realize, because this is your nature. It is what we are. We are creative. Everyone is creative. This isn't a talent. Creativity isn't a talent. It is what we are. We just don't nurture it. As soon as you start nurturing it, which is the practice, as soon as you start nurturing and showing up, you'll see how ever present and abundant it is in you. Rilke says the tree stands confident in the storms of spring. It doesn't panic when the weather is rough, right? It doesn't assume that summer is not coming. It simply stays and continues its growing, rising its sap, bringing out its bud, pushing out its leaves, developing its flowers, fruiting. So can you stay devoted to writing, to whatever it is you want to create, when nothing seems to be happening, when it feels uncomfortable, when you have doubt? Can you stay when you don't know what you are making yet? Can you stay when the work hasn't rewarded you in any way? Look, I've put out tons of things that no one ever responds to. If I allow that to stop me, if I need that reward in order to keep going, then I don't know if I'm really established in my art, in my creativity. I'm married to the reward and not married to the process. And the rewards are going to come and go. They're momentary. But the process, what we get when we are in the moment of creativity, it's eternal. It feels that way. It feels like that wideness and that stillness. It is sustenance. Can you write as though eternity lay before you? That phrase, again from Rilke, as though eternity lay before you, feels so especially important in our modern society. We feel rushed. We feel like we have to produce on deadlines all the time. We're pressed by, constantly having to put out, or feel like we do have to put out content or get feedback. We're haunted by the idea that we're not relevant, that we're not seen, that we're behind, right? But art doesn't obey these outside signals or little rewards, right? It obeys our attention. That's what produces art. Not timelines, not followers, not audience. Our art obeys our own inner attention. It asks us to be unconcerned in the best sense, not careless, but not hooked into some constant production, but our own time. Be still, be wide, give yourselves enough inner space for something authentic to emerge from you. For me, writing is like having a conversation with myself. Where am I now? How am I feeling? It's really how I learn who I am becoming or who I am at this moment. It's how I metabolize my experiences. It's how I practice honesty. It's how I remember that growth can't be rushed, only tended. That it's how I remember the joy of just this long ripening. So if you're in some season of your writing where it's feeling slow or quiet, or you're uncertain about what you're doing or whether you can do it at all, I offer you this, that you're not blocked. You're just ripening. You're becoming. Keep showing up. Keep attending to this ripening. Be the agent of the ripening and the agency of the ripening, and trust that the process is everything, and trust that the work that is happening beneath the surface, like the roots of the tree growing, are going to what is happening beneath your surface is going to appear above the surface eventually, and trust that the version of you that is forming through the act of your making daily is going to flower something beautiful, because that is what it does. It can't be otherwise. You don't have to force your sap. You don't have to count or reckon. This is just natural. You are creative. Keep showing up, stay at the page, and listen. Keep showing up, stay at the page, get to the page daily, and listen. And let your art make you as you make it. Oh, here's a prompt today. Goes along with this, very simple. What are you ripening? Or what is ripening in you? Write about that. What ideas are coming? What images? What dreams? What are these things? Write a little bit about that. And as always, I thank you so much for watching. Please like, please subscribe. And also, if you want to send me what you've written about this prompt or anything else you write, you can put them in my comments on this page, or you could also go to devotiontowriting.com and you can contact me there. I'd always love to see what you're working on and hear your writing story. So also, I do, as I mentioned, devotiontowriting.com. If you want to learn how devotion can help you awaken creatively and cultivate a daily writing practice, go to that website, devotiontowriting.com. That's where I list all of my upcoming events, workshops, both in person and online, the residencies and retreats that I lead all over the world. I hope to meet you sometime, either online, in person, at a retreat. Love to hear about your writing, and know that Devotion to Writing, that I am always here to help support you any way I can in cultivating a writing practice and awakening creatively to what you are. So I hope you write deeply today. I know that if you do write, you will write beautifully, because beautiful is what you are. Blessings.